Despite all the uncertainty surrounding tariffs and the Canadian election, St. Albert's housing market has literally never been hotter. And today we're going to dive into the statistics from last month, March 2025. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the stats, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Evan Cochlin. I'm a residential realtor here in St. Albert. I've lived here my entire life. And if you have any questions about buying, selling, or investing in the city, my phone number is going to be on the screen. Full contact information is in the description below. After watching this video, if you're considering selling your property, there's going to be a link in the description that you can download my free seller's guide. It's going to walk you through everything from strategy to pricing to preparation, everything you need to know about selling your property. Link is in the description for that. Starting it off with pricing of single family homes. The benchmark price for single family homes is now $559,200, and that is up 2.9% month over month and 11.5% year over year. When we look at average prices, we're sitting at $609,927, which is down 1% month over month and up 8.3% year over year. Now you might be asking, why are these two different? Well, the benchmark price is adjusted for the outliers. Sometimes you have the average price artificially inflated if there's one or two very expensive homes that are sold in a month. Same thing goes if there's one or two really cheap homes that get sold, that average price is brought down significantly. The benchmark price is adjusted for these outliers and gives you a better representation of the general market. So in general, the prices of single family homes is up 11.5% year over year. Next up, we're going to look at townhouses and apartments. In the townhouse sector, we're at $332,200 for the benchmark price, which is 5.4% month over month increase and 14.2% year over year. Apartments, we're at $270,200, which is almost no month over month increase, but 15.8% year over year. Now, these two year over year increases are very abnormal, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Sales volume for single family homes. Last month in March of 2025, we had 106 total sales that occurred. That's up 86% from February, and that's up 15.2% from last year. Out of the 106 that were sold, 11 of them sold right at list price, 47 of them sold above list price, and 48 of them sold below list price. Interestingly enough, we almost have the same amount of sales that are occurring above list price than below, which means that multiple offers are very, very common right now, and there's lots of competition. Now, more than ever, it's very important that you're working with a realtor that is experienced in multiple offers, because if you don't have a realtor that is experienced in this and knows how the strategies work, you could be missing out on thousands of dollars in your sale or significantly overpaying or not even getting the house as a purchaser. Next up, we've got new listings. This tells us where the market is going to continue to go. 128 new listings in March, which is up 25.5% over February, but down 2.3% over last year. Now, this 25.5% increase is really nice to see. However, the sales volume has increased by 86%, which is fairly normal because we're getting into the spring market, and as the weather warms up, more sales volume will occur and more listings will as well. But if the sales volume is increasing quicker than the new listings, then we're going to go farther and farther into a more competitive or seller's market, which I'll talk to you about in just a second. Days on market. Right now, we're at 27 average days on market. This is how long it typically takes for a home to get listed to legally sold, conditions waived. 27 days is up 2 days from February, but down 8 days from last year. So it's taking about a week's less time to sell a property in St. Albert this year compared to last. Market conditions. One of the main statistics that us as realtors look at to gauge the market conditions is going to be this number right here, months of supply. This tells us if there's no more new listings that come to the market, how long is it going to take for the market to absolutely run out of inventory? And right now, you take the active listings, 167, divided by the sales volume, 106. Right now, we would be out of inventory in 1.6 months. Anything less than 3 months of supply is going to be seller's market territory. This is when inventory is low, competition's really high, and you're seeing lots of multiple offers. Sellers have the advantage. And right now, we're definitely in that territory. Now, market distribution. We already talked talked briefly about sales volume and months of supply, but as you may know already, not every price bracket is going to have the same amount of competition and the same amount of sales volume. Each price bracket is going to be different, and that's why I'm going to break this down for you. So from the $0 to $400,000 price range, there was 9 sales. There's currently 6 active listings. That means there's only 0.7 months of supply. This is going to be the most competitive sector of the St. Albert market, next to the 400 to 500K range, which is at only 0.8 months of supply. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these numbers for you. If you want to pause and read them, please do. What I want to focus on is the months of supply number over here related to the price bracket. As you can see, we're very competitive all the way up until about the 800K range. As soon as you go to 800 to 900K, you're getting closer to that balanced territory at 2.8. The 900 to $1 million price bracket is going to be the least competitive out of all of the price brackets in St. Albert at 7 months of supply. Last month in March, there was 7 sales that happened over $1 million, which is not super typical. And so now we're looking at only 1.9 months of supply in the 1 million plus range. Now we'll look at townhouses. So the market conditions for townhouses, same calculation. We take active listings divided by sales volume. We got 1.1 months of supply. So even farther over into that seller's market territory. And that's why we're seeing such a crazy increase in the townhouse prices at 14.2%, because we're very short on inventory. Demand seems to be at all-time highs. Next up, we've got apartments. 20 active listings, 13 sales that happened. That's 1.5 months of supply, right in the middle of that seller's market territory. Okay, now I'm going to bring you over to the home price index tool, so we can see the trajectory of the market over time. And so right now we got it open to Edmonton, but we're going to focus on St. Albert here today. So if we go to the municipality of St. Albert, single family homes, we can see the price trajectory over time. Now this graph goes all the way back to January 2005, and there was a big spike into the housing bubble that eventually burst. Everything came down, and then over time it's been steadily climbing up. As you can see, when COVID first happened, that's when we started seeing the big spike that we're experiencing today. So if we look here, we can see January 2021 is just about when it all started, and that's when things took a really big climb all the way up until July of 2022. Then things dipped down, and ever since February 2023, we've recovered all of that dip and then some, and now we're at all-time highs, and we're seeing a very significant price increase in benchmark prices just about every single month. Now we're going to look into the townhouse for St. Albert, and we can look over the entire graph. We can see the same big spike. Everything kind of mellowed out, and really historically townhouses don't necessarily appreciate over time, at least in St. Albert's market. We can see over the last several years it really hasn't budged much, but ever since that December, January 2021 period, that's when everything started to take off, and now we're seeing an even crazier spike in prices for the townhouse sector. Over the last few years, since December 2021, we've seen a consistent rise. There's really been no dips. Then we look at the apartment space. So as you can see from the financial bubble, everything kind of spiked and then tapered off, and over time we can actually see that apartments have started to even dip at times, and right now we're seeing a crazy growth in apartment prices. So if you own an apartment in St. Albert, maybe it's an investment, or maybe you've been thinking about selling it for a while, I think now would be a really good time to consider acting on that, because it's been a while since we've seen a spike this big in the apartment market in St. Albert. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or would like to have a conversation about any of the data that we talked about today, I'll pop my phone number on the screen again. Feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I'd be happy to help you. As well, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be doing one of these market update videos every single month moving forward, and I'm making that commitment to you. I want to keep you guys as informed as possible, and there's not really many sources that you can find information specific to St. Albert, so I want to be that resource for you. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.